Picture this, 1984. Nike, not the giant we know today. Back then, they were fighting for survival, bleeding market share to the likes of Converse and Adidas. Their dominance in running shoes was slipping, and the basketball world, it barely took them seriously. Nike was desperate, scrambling for a way back into the game. They needed a miracle, and that miracle came in the form of a 21-year-old kid from North Carolina, a kid with a smile as bright as his future, a jump shot as smooth as silk, and an aura that made you believe he was destined for something greater. His name? Michael Jordan. At the time, Jordan wasn't even sold on Nike. He wanted to sign with Adidas, his favorite brand growing up. Converse, home to Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, didn't see him as a priority. But Nike saw what others didn't, so they'd bet the house. They didn't just offer him a shoe deal, they offered him a legacy. They built an entire brand around him. Air Jordan, a sneaker that wasn't just a shoe, but a revolution, a symbol of style, swagger, and dominance. Still, it was a gamble. Jordan was unproven in the NBA. Nike projected $3 million in sales in the first 3 years. They did $126 million in the first year alone. What followed was history. Jordan became the greatest to ever play, and Nike became Nike. Not just a brand, but a cultural force. And to think, it all started with a struggling company taking a leap of faith on a 21-year-old kid from North Carolina, the underdog and the superstar. Michael Jordan, fresh out of college, a raw talent, but already generating a buzz like few before him. The kind of player who didn't just play the game, he elevated it. A kid who made highlight reels look effortless, whose very presence on the court felt different. Nike saw something special, a spark, a once-in-a-generation potential that others couldn't quite grasp. But here's the thing, Jordan wasn't sold on Nike. He wanted Adidas. And honestly, who could blame him? Adidas was cool. Adidas was established. Nike was the underdog. The brand your dad wore to mow the lawn. The brand known for running shoes, not basketball. The brand that didn't have Magic, Bird, or Dr. J. So when Nike came knocking, Jordan wasn't interested. He didn't even want to take the meeting. But then came Sonny Vaccaro, a Nike exec who saw what others didn't. He didn't just believe in Jordan, he bet his career on him. He convinced Nike to break every rule of the sneaker business. Instead of just signing Jordan, they would build an entire brand around him. The pitch? A signature shoe. His own line, his own identity, something bigger than just a contract. Jordan listened. But still, he hesitated. It wasn't until his mother, Dolores Jordan, stepped in. She told him to hear Nike out, just listen. And when he did, something clicked. Nike wasn't just offering a shoe, they were offering Air Jordan, a revolution disguised as a sneaker, a statement, a movement, a legacy in the making. And the rest is history. The $2.5 million gamble. $2.5 million, that's what Nike put on the table for Michael Jordan. Not just an endorsement deal, a partnership. They weren't just paying him to wear their shoes, they were tying their future to his. And let's be clear, $2.5 million in 1984? That wasn't just a big number, that was staggering, especially for a company that was, at the time, teetering on the brink of bankruptcy. This wasn't just a gamble, it was an all-in, bet the house, no turning back risk. If Jordan flopped, if the shoes didn't sell, Nike wouldn't just lose money. They'd lose everything. But there was something about Jordan, something that made them believe. Maybe it was the way he moved, the way he carried himself, the way he refused to lose. Maybe it was just a gut feeling. Whatever it was, Nike took the leap. They designed a shoe that broke every rule. The Air Jordan 1, bold, flashy, a statement piece, just like the kid who would wear them. The NBA took one look and banned them for violating uniform regulations. Jordan wore them anyway. And just like that, a sneaker wasn't just a sneaker anymore. It was rebellion. It was swagger. It was the start of something bigger than anyone could have imagined. Nike had placed the biggest bet in their history, and they had just hit the jackpot. The birth of a phenomenon. Michael Jordan wasn't just winning games, he was changing the game. Night after night, he dazzled. He wasn't just another rookie, he was a force of nature. High-flying dunks, clutch performances, a competitive fire that burned brighter than anyone had seen before. He made basketball electrifying. And on his feet, a shoe that was just as bold as he was, the Air Jordan 1. Banned by the NBA, embraced by the streets, a symbol of rebellion, confidence, and unstoppable greatness. Suddenly, it wasn't just basketball fans paying attention. It was everyone. Kids wanted to be like Mike. Adults wanted to own a piece of the magic. These weren't just sneakers anymore. They were a statement, a movement, a cultural shift. Nike's gamble? It didn't just pay off, it changed everything. They had hoped to sell a few $1 million worth of Jordans over a few years. Instead, they sold $126 million worth in the first year alone. One shoe, one player, one risk that turned Nike from an underdog into a global powerhouse. And this was just the beginning. The transformation of Nike. They didn't just save Nike, they redefined it. Before Jordan, Nike was just another sportswear company, clawing for relevance in a market dominated by giants. After Jordan, they were the giant. The Air Jordan line didn't just sell shoes, it built a culture. It became a brand within a brand, bigger than basketball, bigger than sports. It was a symbol of excellence, swagger, and innovation. But more than that, it was about the story. The story of a kid from North Carolina who defied expectations. The story of a brand that took an insane risk when no one else would. The story of a partnership that changed the face of sports, fashion, and business forever. Air Jordans weren't just sneakers. They were a movement. A statement that said, if you believe in yourself, if you put in the work, if you refuse to lose, greatness is possible. Nike had bet everything on one man, and in return, that man became a legend. Jordan soared, and Nike soared with him. The $2.5 million gamble wasn't just a financial risk, it was a leap of faith, a belief that greatness recognizes greatness even before the world does. Nike saw something in Michael Jordan that others overlooked. They didn't just invest in a player, they invested in a legacy. And that, my friends, is how a rookie with a relentless drive and a company with everything to lose changed the game forever. It's proof that the right partnership at the right moment doesn't just make history, it creates legends. If you love stories of game changers, risk takers, and history makers, subscribe now and be part of the journey, because the next great story, it could start with you.